Hi, Benny here. Part 3. Alright, now everything that is said and shown is fully backed with proof that can back my story. So any photos shown are all located or was displayed to the public at that point in time. So now let's get on with the story. Now, as you guys may know, or if you don't, I am actually reading this. So bear with me as I get through these pages. So getting back to our story, when problems started just a month after joining. Now, the picture in front of us, for those that don't know, is the P&C meeting that was elected in March of 2023, as it says on the picture. We have Tamara and Gabby as our VPs. We have Shazma in the middle, which was our president. Me being Benny, and Denny on the end, our treasurer. All right. Now, on the 4th of April at our P&C meeting, the vice principal asked for help with money for the kids with their magic show that was coming up, as that's what we're here for. Funds we raise are to be given to the school to help reduce costs for the parents when activities are done with the school. All right, now Denny responded with, "I'll let you know by the end of the week on what we can give," as she claimed we had expenses coming up. Now the vice principal was happy to wait. But on the 1st of May in the exec chat, so this is 4 weeks after Denny gave the vice principal her word for letting her know by the end of the week, 4 weeks later, Denny says in the comment section she is concerned about spending money for the magic show. At this point in time, there was over $24,000 available in our P&C bank account. Denny didn't want to spend, but unfortunately for her, it wasn't just for her to decide. The whole P&C members had to vote on that, and she lost. So now we had a canteen that we were responsible for on school grounds. That had 3 employees that we had to pay. Canteen employees must have a paid working with children check, so WWCC for short. It was needed to work at the canteen, such as volunteers. A volunteer cannot be employed, so volunteers can't be paid. So if you go and pay for your working with children, you can be employed. So one employee did not update their WWCC in paying for it. Sorry, I had to pause for a second then. Ian distracted me. Okay, so as I was saying, one employee did not update their working with children in paying for it before starting work as an employee back in February. Denny did not want to pay this employee for work already done, and even suggested that she owed the P&C money for paying her in the past, being from February to May. Denny was worried about legal problems. Denny was one that did, hang on, here we go. Denny was one that did things she wanted to do, not what she was supposed to do. For example, she paid the employees when she felt like it and not when she was supposed to, which resulted in employees to wait until the following week before they even got their money. Okay, so this is part of a screenshot. I had to blow it up a bit because there were still names on there and I don't really want to show names. First names is okay, but last names I need to remove. But this is part of Denny's conversation that she had. So it was, "Hey crew, not sure about you, but in my eyes, I cannot legally pay Jody." Now, Jody was one of our employees underneath the canteen manager. So up until today, she was a volunteer. So we actually sent her out and said, go pay for it. There's no problems, because obviously there was a problem she had to go and pay for her working certificate so she could continue getting paid. But as we said, there was a lot of issues with that, and Denny didn't want to pay her. There are more messages, but I'll just show you this little one for now because I haven't had time to crop everything. But this is part of it, where this part was. On the 2nd of May, Shazma says, "We are now at the stage where canteen employees want me to look into another way they can be paid, as it's taking too long. Now, the previous treasurer used to use QuickBooks to pay the canteen employee every Thursday, but Denny has no access to QuickBooks and never bothered to tell anybody. So she is paying them by bank transfer when she remembers. She would always make me lie, or make us lie, to cover her ass." Now, this screenshot I've got up on the screen at the moment is going to cover something that I've got a little bit further down on this page. It's just it saved me time. I thought I'll just put it up now so that way I don't have to try and adjust the screen to get this next image up, because I have to crop out names. All right. Now, Denny says in chat, for the meantime for today, let them know the bank's fucked up at the moment, and we will need to keep them posted in the next couple of days, as we need to be careful how we approach this. That was Denny referring to not wanting to pay one of our employees that hadn't had a paid WWCC. Denny used to say it was the bank's fault if there was a problem to us. Yet I myself, I use the same bank, and I've never had a problem with the online banking. Now, Shazma says, "We don't have a couple of days. This needs to be sorted ASAP. Sick of putting shit on hold. No wonder this PNC is not functioning properly, and this is why." The VP and our executive emailed the Federation asking for advice on how to deal with this matter. The Federation advised that it was illegal not to pay her for work already done. Denny says, "No way this is getting raised tomorrow." Denny was referring to our PNC general meeting. This decision is not Denny's to make. You will see she tried to hide everything as we go through our story. Top secret, Denny. But anyway, employees' pays are all done by bank transfer at the moment. It's been 3 months after Denny was elected as treasurer, but she never mentioned that she is still having issues with QuickBooks. QuickBooks is an accounting software which we pay monthly subscriptions for, and is how payslips, super, and taxes are done. So far, we are paying dead money as Denny wasn't using it. Keep this QuickBook in mind and hear as we go just how long it took before anything was ever brought up or mentioned about it. May was here and Mother's Day was just around the corner. The school wasn't doing anything, and they felt it was too short notice for anything to happen. On the 8th of May, I asked the school principal, asked the school principal, "A few mums are really upset there won't be anything for Mother's Day. By any chance, I know there's only 4 days. I believe we can do this if you'll let a few of us try." Now, we, being Ian and myself, had an online shop, so we had a lot of things we could donate from leftover stock. We just wanted to know if the principal would let us help the kids celebrate Mother's Day on Friday. Yep, I was pushing it and confident that we could pull this off. School principal replied. He said, if you think you can do it, we will support it. We will let you have the library all day, Thursday for setup, and run Mother's Day on Friday. The vice principal will make you a flyer. Just tell us the price range and we will post it and send it home with the kids. The next day, Shazma, our president, as you see on the screen here in the white, she says, I don't know what's going on, so just go ahead and do it without me. I feel like shit. Not that anyone really cares, to be honest. Yeah, well, honestly, I'm starting to not give a shit, as all of it's stressing me out. Now, halfway down this white chat of Shazma still, she says, I'm now annoyed because the Mother's Day store has to be done in 3 days. What makes anyone think it's possible? But you know what? Good luck. I'm ready to drop my roll soon anyway, I think. I say to her, don't want you upset, but the principal fixed it all up with me, so you don't need to worry about that. Shazma says, nice to know it's all sorted and I'm not needed. I'm going. I'll chat to you some other time. Mother's Day comes. We, being Ian and myself, decide to give the P&C plush teddies and other cuddly toys, along with jewellery, key rings and other items just for the kids to buy for their mums. Volunteers helped us through the day. Then Shazma and Denny decided to show up towards the end. Denny was needed at the end of the day only for the money side, but Shazma should have been there from the start. After the Mother's Day store had finished, we found out that we had raised $2,900 for the P&C. We did it, with all negatives from Shazma, our wonderful supporting president. The P&C president is meant to encourage the volunteers and be there for support and making sure all goes well. But this president we were stuck with was the most laziest person. That does the opposite when she can finally make time from her busy napping schedule. Ian and myself did most of the work, raised most of the money with our stock, but she takes credit for it all. Wish I could sleep all day and claim glory over other people's doings. A few days later, May 12th, Denny was asked by Gabby, who was our vice president, on if she had done the ACNC. Now, the ACNC stands for Australian Charity and Non-for-Profit Commission. Now, Gabby was asking if the report was done yet. It's mandatory reporting. We had 6 weeks to get it updated. Denny replies with, no worries, I'll look into it ASAP. This is an audit report that has to be done every year and sent in. It is part of the Treasurer's job. In talking about with the ACNC, it is to be continued with more bullshit to come. Now, a few weeks passed, all is quiet, then end of May, it starts again. As you know, Danny, our P&C treasurer, does not want the money in her hands that belonged to the P&C for the school spent on anything. We questioned why she took the volunteer job, as she wasn't doing it. She was even asking in messengers and in person. She was even asked in messengers and in person why she took the damn job, if she wasn't going to do it, of course. So top secret Denny never had an answer. We were always ignored part of the time, but more on this part later. The 31st of May came. I messaged the group exec chat saying, hey guys, the canteen manager is wondering if the Coles card had been fixed up yet. Denny did not pay the account. Oh, what a shocker. When did she pay it? It would be only a certain amount on the card each time rather than paying the full amount. Her reason was because she didn't want the canteen manager to overspend. Oh shit. You know, I don't want you buying too many loaves of bread over there, you know. You've got to spare up on that. Just buy the crust only, okay? Can't overspend. Anyway, this canteen manager had been working in the canteen for over 12 years with no issues until now. In Denny's eyes, of course. 2nd of June, Denny messages chat saying, "Hey crew, I've noticed that the canteen account is getting really low. The suggestions I would have to do is ASAP buy bulk from Costco. Look at wages and limiting our food options." Now, back on the 11th of May, when she ducked into the canteen for a chat with the employees, Denny had a conversation with the canteen manager. She discussed how shopping at Costco could save cost with bulk buying. All Denny had to do was fill out the Costco membership form to allow our employees to shop there. But she didn't bother. Like a lot of things, of course. The menu was also brought up on this date also. But wanting to adjust and make affordable as the price went up when Tamara employed 2 extra workers to work in the canteen as the manager needed the help, but wasn't getting any volunteers. So in order to pay for these extra employees, Tamara adjusted the food pricing to pay them. Another big problem Tamara left us with when she resigned a few weeks after being elected as VP yet again. Alright, so a month after has passed and nothing was ever done with the canteen. We're trying to save and shop less. Alright, I know in part 2 we talked about Tamara leading up to that situation over taking over my job and others. Tamara, after resigning, had caused a lot of problems on her way out, breached the code of conduct, and the P&C organised for Tamara to go on a suspension for the attacks that she did on making up stories and lying to a lot of people, spreading vicious rumours that could cause loss of wages and defamation. So it got that bad that we had to go to the courthouse and get information on how to actually try and stop her from hurting and destroying my family. Now, before I go on, I must mention that Shazma and Tamara are the best buddies. They're high school buddies or primary school or whatever you want to call it, but they're school buddies. So Tamara is also friends with Gabby, our VP as well, or our VP back then, but not as close as what she was with Shazma. So when Tamara breached the code of conduct for the P&C, this was put into the minutes that got sent out to the P&C members that allowed them to see what was that it was getting brought up in the next meeting. So on the 5th of June at 7:23 p.m. at night, Shazma says, "I think it needs to be taken out," meaning the code of conduct breach regarding Tamara. I responded with, "Everyone has it now. Agenda has been sent out to all members." I continued with, "So what are you all needing? You can't keep putting it off. You all spoke very concerned about this and that it had to be done, all 4 of us. I'm certainly not going to go through more crap because she can, so toughen up, it's sent. Finish the job so everyone can come back and help bring back money to the school as it's losing it and fast." Now, we found out that Tamara made quite a lot of enemies in her years of being in the P&C, with how she spoke towards people and volunteers not wanting to come back and help anymore. But instead of reporting her, they just left, and no one was helping out with the P&C anymore. This, I believe, is the reason she wanted me to attend the P&C, as Tamara elected me to become that secretary, because there was no one else. Anyway, back to the issue of Shazma. Now, I would have had the screenshot up, but time is on me, and I will promise to get everything up and out when I actually sit there and do a face conversation with you. So me and Ian are going to get on here at the end of our podcast and actually just sit here and have a chat about how all this affected us and what our plans are next. Anyway, so back to the issue with Shazma. Our lazy president, complaining about Tamara's breach being sent out for the next meeting. Okay, so my last paragraph said, Finish the job so everyone can come back and help bring back money to the school as it's losing it fast. All right, so Shazma says, I'm not dealing with this shit from her. I'm out for the night. And I say, from who, me? Shazma says, yes, you, I'm out. Okay, my response was, well, fuck. What type of president won't support their team? This is bullshit. You got to stop backing away from all these issues the PNC goes through. You are supposed to be the one that fixes all these issues. Wow, nah, I'm done with this crap myself. It takes a lot for me to get through this. I'm not biting my tongue anymore. I'm sick of it. Shazma says, we need to go by the school principal has recommended that, and that's what I'm doing. I don't need to be pushed and shoved because yous want shit done on your time. I'm sorry, but I'm backing up and I'm going to put everyone in their spot soon, and it won't be good if I do. Now talk about laughing my fucking ass off. Who does she think she is? My fucking mother? She's a stupid fucking lazy bitch. That's all she is. A few days later, canteen issues arise again. Surprise, surprise. On the 7th of June, a canteen subcommittee was held to try and work out how to change up the canteen with raising money rather than losing it. The canteen manager says, I'm not comfortable ordering from big suppliers, knowing that there is a chance they will not be paid. Good reputation you put on us, hey, Denny? Alright, so this is because Denny was never paying suppliers on time. She was always a month or more behind. The canteen manager went through a lot of years to gain a good reputation with the suppliers she was working with. She wasn't gonna fuck it up because of Denny. If you haven't already worked out, Denny was causing a lot of problems with a care factor of 0 on who she believed she could control. Handling money controlled all that worked for it. If she didn't want you to have it, she would look hard in working out how to not give it, even if it involved lying like she made me do too many of times. It wasn't her money, as it was, but she was trying damn hard not to give to anyone, including suppliers that kept the kids at school fed with lunches. Pretty fucking disgusting if you ask me. Anyway, on the 8th of June, Gabby asked in chat, just for the context, Benny, can you fill me in on what's happening? Now, Gabby was referring to the canteen, as I was helping out there most days, volunteering my time. Denny was causing a lot of unnecessary stress on everyone working. Denny replied with, it's just basic concerns and worries that have risen from my concerns regarding the canteen and funding, and how to go about it, and stresses. I messaged saying, price change. Canteen manager is crying. Wiped out half the menu. It's a mess. The canteen manager would often do a trip down to Coles before starting her morning shifts, getting fresh goodies for the day, lunches. One of the big meltdowns going on was because Denny wasn't paying the damn Coles credit card. That the canteen relies on to buy the fresh foods. Remember, she was only paying for one piece of crust. That was all she was willing to give. Anyway, she kept being rejected several times. Not exactly sure how many times, as we lost count, but this was very embarrassing for the manager when all these groceries to be knocked back at checkout because of Denny not paying the card at the shop. Now, Denny was totally against the canteen manager and just lying to other executives to have her eventually removed. On the 14th of June, Denny says, we need to be moving forward. We need the canteen to work with us, not against us. The suggestions of shopping around for better suppliers, close the canteen temporary for quieter days. Yet again, back on the 11th May, Denny asked the canteen manager about Costco, and all Denny had to do was fill out the membership forms. This was one of many suggestions she wanted happening, but couldn't make any change. No one was to blame for it. Everyone else was to blame for it instead. On the 26th of June, Denny says in chat, so I've just made payments to all outstanding invoices for May. I have held off on supplier payments for obvious reasons. Wow, would you look at that? We are almost at the end of June, and she's only just paid for May's invoices. Hell, why not just wait another fucking year? Yet again, Denny is making decisions on her own and paying only what she wants and when she's ready. Okay, still in June, Denny says, we need this canteen business sorted as a matter of urgency. She was right. We needed urgent help, as Denny wasn't allowing the canteen to buy. The manager was using her own money, sending receipts to Denny to be reimbursed. That really pissed Denny off. The manager wasn't going to allow the kids and the staff to starve. Yes, you heard right. Staff was buying food from there too. Anyway, back to the ACNC again for a bit, as that's how the chat log again is popping up. Several days passed and the audit report for the ACNC is due. Gabby messaged Denny over multiple times on the 30th of June saying, Denny, the ACNC statement is due today. Denny, the ACNC report, has it been done? Again, Denny, can you please source the financial statement so ACNC can be completed today? Gabby then asked, hey, can someone please confirm if the ACNC submission has been done and also if Fair Work changed have been followed up? No comments or anything was given from Denny. 6 weeks on since Denny was asked if the ACNC report had been done, but Denny just keeps ignoring the situation. Another week passes by. Again, July the 4th. Denny was asked again for the ACNC report. No response or reply from Denny still. I responded in chat that I myself had completed all the ACNC items except the financial statement, as this had to be done by the Treasurer. Gabby says to me in the chat, ACNC submission is the most important legal thing that are required to do. It was due on the 30th of June. This sits within the jobs of the Secretary and the Treasurer to complete. I responded saying I had completed my part of the job, so nothing more I could do. All of us, again, were waiting on Denny to do her part. For 9 days, Denny did not comment in the executive chat group, even though the ACNC audit report was due. An important legal requirement for the P&C. Denny could have spoken to me about the file during these 9 days in private chat, as she was talking to me anyway about other things there, and she knew the ACNC was important. July 8th, Denny finally resurfaces back on the executive chat group, but no mention of the ACNC report. She is meant to do. She was just saying, sorry, I was MIA, but we all have lives outside of this. Denny never bothered to do the ACNC report. Gabby ended up rounding up the financial report from the following year and sent it in. Even though before Denny was so concerned about the canteen employee whose WWCC was not paid and up to date, yet did not care about the legal requirements of the ACNC. The ACNC could revoke the P&C's charity status. This means the P&C could lose their tax exemption and the charity status with the employees, which would be a big disaster for the P&C. 19th of July, according to Denny, she spoke to the canteen manager. Denny says, I have asked the canteen manager to help in shopping around and she has continually refused, and after having discussions regarding the state of the canteen, did not put the canteen and students at interest to try and resolve these issues. Back on May 11th, Denny spoke to the canteen manager on shopping around and to go shop anywhere, to which the canteen manager said she was more than happy to do. A canteen subcommittee meeting was held where plans to get things back on track with looking at other places to shop at was arranged, with an agreement made that manager was to participate in P&C general meetings that held once a month to check in and report any issues that she may be facing. Not once did the manager ever have an issue with the change that had to happen. She was all in for it, happy for everything suggested, even cutting back the employees to only bringing them in when the canteen was really busy to save on cost. It wasn't a hard change, and the manager did well with helping change things that was in her control. Another lie Denny told us all in saying the manager won't change anything. Denny was slowly building up a case on her own to remove the canteen manager simply because she didn't like her. The lies were believable to us and the executives. If I didn't volunteer there to see for myself, I would believe Denny easily with her bullshit false stories. Let's see some of these lies so far that Denny's tried to tell us all. Were the Costco membership form completed? No. Denny didn't bother. Did the canteen manager attend subcommittee meetings? Yes. During these meetings, did the canteen manager commit to changes? Yes, and help suggest other things to help. Did the canteen manager ever refuse to shop around? No, absolutely not. The canteen was always kept clean by the canteen manager, so not sure why Denny had a discussion about the state of the canteen. Was Denny just lying to the executives about the canteen manager? This was the biggest yes possible. On 30th of June, Denny says, "So I've just made payments to all outstanding invoices for May. Bear in mind, we're still now behind a month on invoices, as we are now at the end of June." 18th of July, it was brought up again about cutting down employees in the canteen chat again. The manager agreed to cut back on staff on slow days and is trying to help the canteen save money. And she did. She only called in for backup when she had a lot of orders to do. Okay, this is the end of part 3. Now, part 4 is about, in Denny's words, a hostage situation involving our canteen manager and someone else we will be talking about later on. Kayla is her name, and you will find out just how sly and dirty this fucker really is. So that's all for tonight. Tune in for next time. We've got some more exciting things to tell you. Everything but the truth, and only the truth, is going to be revealed. We look forward to seeing you then. Bye for now.